Good morning, dear students of class 12. Today we are going to take up the last lesson by Alfonso Daudet, part 4. In the previous classes, we discussed in the lesson about the author Alfonso Daudet and the setting of this lesson, which is in the days of Franco-Prussian War, when France was defeated by Prussia, led by Denmark. And in this story, the French districts of Alsace and Lorraine, they have passed on to Prussia. And as a result, an order has come from Berlin that instead of French language, German language would be taught in the school of Alsace and Lorraine. Now in this lesson, we read about what effect this news had on the life at school and in the life of this little boy, little Franz. I started for the school very late that morning. So Franz was late for school and he dreaded the scolding of the teacher, M. Hamel, who was going to ask questions on participles. So he thought of other options like bunking school. But then he tried to overcome that temptations and decided to attend school instead. That shows his strength of character. Now, on the way, he came across the bulletin board, which used to display news, and in the last 2 years, all bad news was displayed on the bulletin board. He thought of waiting, but then he decided to rush for school. He was on the way, he was checked by the blacksmith watcher, who said, "You should not be going so fast, as there is plenty of time." When little Franz reached school, he was almost out of breath. And then the school, which usually began with lot of noise, confusion due to opening and closing of desks, lessons repeated in unison, and the rapping of teacher's ruler. But no such sound could be heard. The school was as still, as quiet as a Sunday morning. He thought that in this confusion, he would quietly sneak into his desk, into his seat, but this did not happen today. So he peeped in to check what was going on in the class. He saw his classmates had already occupied their places, and M. Hamel was walking up and down his teacher with a terrible ruler. He got very scared and embarrassed. Now he would be checked by his teacher. But as he entered the class, nothing of that sort happened. In fact, M. Hamel, his teacher, was very kind and said that you can take your place. We were about to start the class without you. Franz occupied his place, and that as he got over his fright, he had a look at his teacher. The teacher was in his best dress, beautiful green coat, frilled shirt, and little black silk cap all embroidered. This dress the teacher usually wore on special days, inspection and prize days. So was there something special in the school that day? Even the school looked very strange and solemn. He also observed that the last back benches, which were usually empty, were occupied by the village elders. Now, before he could gather all this, the teacher sat on his chair and made an announcement. very grave, very serious, and soft tone. The teacher said that, my children, this is the last lesson that I'm giving you, as the order has come from Berlin that in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine, instead of French language, only German language would be taught. And this would be your last French lesson. Well, these words felt like a thunderclap. It was a shock for little Franz. Probably this was what that was displayed at the town hall. He had not mastered his own language, thinking that there was plenty of time. And now the time had come when he would no longer be able to learn his language. He was full of regret, full of remorse. His books, which had earlier seemed a nuisance, his bag so heavy to carry, and his teacher M. Hamel sounded very cranky, mad. Today, he regretted all this. And probably the teacher was wearing the best dress, was on his fine Sunday clothes in honor of his last class. And the village elders had also come there to pay tribute to the teacher for his 40 years of faithful service. As little Franz was contemplating all this, the teacher asked him a question which he was not able to answer because he was not concentrating. But instead of scolding him, the teacher did not scold him, rather said that it is not your fault. I won't scold you, little Franz. He said that all the students felt that there is plenty of time, and so they postponed their learning for the other day. This blame of not being able to learn our own language is to be shared jointly by students, teachers, and parents. If the students were careless towards their studies, the parents are also to be blamed, as they sent their children for their own personal work, to take care of the fields, to work on the farm or the mills, so that they can have little more earnings, rather than sent to school. And he took the blame himself also, because he sent his students on his personal errands, like watering the fields, instead of teaching them the lessons. And whenever he felt like taking leave, he would go on a holiday. So, the responsibility for not being able to learn French language is to be shared by all of us together. Then he started impressing upon the class the importance of French as a language. It is the most beautiful, clearest, and the logical language. And more so ever, because it is their national language, we must guard it, we must protect it. Because when people are under a foreign rule, as long as they try to stick fast to their own language, it is key to their freedom, because it helps them in uniting and fighting against the foreign rulers. Then he started taking the class, and that day, because the students were willing to learn and the teacher was giving his best, all the lessons, all the difficult rules of grammar were very easy. After this, the teacher took up recitation, and other skills of language learning. The teacher had made special efforts that day to take up the writing class, provided the students with new copies on which was written in beautiful round hand France Alsace, France Alsace. And as the students opened it, it set a very patriotic and nationalistic tone, sentiment all across the class. It looked like little flags that were waving. And everyone was completely concentrated on writing. Even the coming of beetles did not disturb them. And on the roof, pigeons were cooing low, which made Franz think, is the German rule going to be so strict, so tyrannical, that it is going to force even the free birds, pigeons, to coo in German language? Or in other words, one can force a person physically, but cannot rule a person's free spirit, cannot have a control on person's expressions and sentiments. Whenever I looked up from, now let us continue further. Whenever I looked up from writing, I saw M. Hamel sitting motionless in his chair and gazing first at one thing, then at another, as if he wanted to fix in his mind just how everything looked in that little room. Fancy! For 40 years he had been there in the same place, with his garden outside the window and his class in front of him. Just like that, only the desks and benches had been worn smooth. The walnut trees in the garden were taller. The hop vine that he had planted himself twined about the windows to the roof. How it must have broken his heart to leave it all, poor man, to hear his sister moving about in the room above, packing their trunks, for they must leave the country next day. So Franz was observing his teacher, who looked very thoughtful. Probably he was looking at the plants that he had nurtured, and during these 40 years they have grown up. And then the sound of furniture being moved could be heard. Probably his sister was packing up. But he had the courage to hear every lesson to the very last. After the writing, we had a lesson in history, and then the babies chanted their ba, be, ba, boo. Down there at the back of the room, old Hauser had put on his spectacles and, holding his primer in both hands, spelled the letters with them. So even the elders were also trying to learn the lessons. You could see that he too was crying. His voice trembled with emotions, and it was so funny to hear him that we all wanted to laugh and cry. So the manner in which Hauser was writing as well as crying, his voice, his hoarse voice sounded very funny, which made the students laugh as well as cry. So it was a very mixed feeling. It was humor as well as sadness. Ah, how well I remember that the last lesson. So this was the last lesson taken by the teacher. All at once the church clock struck 12. Then the angels. At the same time, the trumpets of the Prussians returning from the drill sounded under our windows. M. Hamel stood up, very pale, in his chair. I never saw him look so tall. So the German soldiers were making an entry. The Prussian soldiers were making an entry, and it was time to leave. My friend, said he, aye, but choked him. But he was not able to speak anything. Then he turned to the blackboard, took a piece of chalk, and bearing on with all his might, he wrote as large as he could, Vive la France. Long live France. He turned his back and wrote. Then he stopped and leaned his head against the wall, and without a word, he made a gesture to us with his hand. School is dismissed. You may go. So the teacher ended the class on a very emotional note, preparing the students for learning. Thank you.